Sean Elliott, former San Antonio Spur, now Spurs broadcaster, and he joins us on the show. Sean, what's San Antonio's worst fear tonight with LeBron James?
That he comes out like the way he played in Game 4 and Game 2 down the stretch. I think that's the biggest thing. If he comes out and he tries to take over the ball game, and he does, and he gets the crowd behind him, I think that's our biggest concern because we all know that he's the greatest player on the planet, and he's very capable of taking over the ball game. But I like the job we've done against him so far, Dan. Our guys have played brilliant defense. They got back to playing Spurs basketball in Game 5, and you know, our MO has been such that when we play well at home, we go out on the road and we bond, and usually we close these games out.
Wait, so you think that they close it out tonight, given what their track record is?
Well, they did the same thing to Golden State. You know, when our guys smell blood, you know, they know how to close out series, and they know how to put teams away. It's the hardest thing to do in this league, to close out a playoff series, but our guys have done it before, and they're confident. They feel like they can do it.
Can you still be physical with LeBron? Here's one of the most physical, imposing players, but you can be physical with him and still be able to reduce him from, you know, not a mere mortal, but you take him down a couple of notches here.
Well, I think it's better than not being physical with him. You know, at least you try to wear him down a little bit, and maybe he's an inch short on his jumper in the fourth. You know, maybe he's a little fatigued if you're physical with him. So, you know, I like what Pop did last game, putting Boris D out on him. You know, he ended up working out extremely well. And what people don't understand is that, you know, Boris has a little bit of length. He's a big body. He's one of our best post defenders, and he's smart. You know, he doesn't go for fakes. He uses his body well, and I thought he did a good job moving his feet against LeBron. And he had secondary defenders as well. So you can throw Boris Diaw at him. You can throw Kawhi Leonard, who's done a terrific job and who's strong as an ox. It's got terrific range. So those guys can get physical. They can mix it up. And I just think we've done a great job in our wins of keeping him a little off balance.
Hey, Sean Elliott, Spurs broadcaster. You let me know when you got to board that plane because I know you're tight on time, okay?
That's all right.
Okay.
That's all right.
What happens if the Heat win tonight?
Oh, it's going to be tough. You know, but we've won in Game 7s before. In the finals, we beat Detroit, a very good Detroit ball club. As a matter of fact, we're all still wondering around here if we're still better than that team. So, you know, we can win in Game 7s. We're not, you know, a team like the Indiana Pacers. I have a lot of respect for them, but they're awfully young. They hadn't been in a situation like that before. We've been there, we've done that, and we have our big three. You know, I can't say much more about them. They're just the ultimate competitors.
But I'm also looking at this and thinking this is about the Heat no matter what. And I know the Spurs. I never hear the Spurs say we get no respect, we get no attention, because I think that comes from Popovich. He doesn't want it. He doesn't give a damn about what we think or voting coach of the year. This is about the Heat win or lose, in my opinion. What do you think?
Well, I'm a Spurs guy. You know that, Dan. So, you know, I think it's a lot about our legacy as well.
But Sean, from a national topic, I agree with you. I've said I don't know why people don't like the Spurs, respect the Spurs. Guys stay together. They play as a team. There's no star system. You got a coach who nobody wants, you know, plaudits here that they just go out and play. They're 4-0 in the NBA Finals, but we don't appreciate that.
I understand your point exactly. In that sense, it is about the Heat because they've garnered so much national attention in the way they went about building their team, getting LeBron and Chris Bosh and all the hoopla and the hype that went along with it, and the promises of all the titles and you know all the Heat checks and just you know all the media attention they've gotten. Absolutely, they're going to be crucified, and you know I'm sure it's going to make a few people around the country happy if we're able to win, but. I think you're right. It is going to be about them, and it is going to be about what they have to do to win a championship, and if they're ever going to be able to get back to winning a championship. Because let's face it now, the league, especially the Eastern Conference, is getting a lot tougher. Indiana's coming. Derrick Rose is going to be back next year. He's going to be 100%. That team is going to be coming too. You know, it's not going to be so easy to get back to the finals. And, you know, Wade's getting a little bit older. You know, teams are starting to figure Miami out. So if they don't win this year, it's going to be awfully difficult for them to just stay status quo and get back to the finals.
You played against a lot of great players during your career, and I'm still looking. There seems to be an ingredient, something missing from LeBron James. What is that characteristic that you saw in others that maybe you don't see with LeBron, certainly when it comes to these kind of games?
I think it's the same thing that makes him great, and that's his unselfishness. I think it's probably a blessing and a curse that he's just a hair too unselfish, because to me he's got the total package. And to be honest with you, Dan, that's why I admire him so much as a player, because he is so unselfish. With all the tools that he has, he makes everybody else around him better. But then there are times during the game where you've got to say, forget about everybody else. Well, we've all been in that situation. Every player that's been a star at one point or another, even in high school or college, at some point it's going to be about you, and if you could take over the game, and if you can will your team to win.
I know you got to get on a flight. Always great to talk to you, Sean. Safe travels.
Hey, anytime for you, man. Sorry it took so long to catch up.
All right. Sean Elliott, Spurs broadcaster. Sound like he was running to get to the plane. Sean not in shape like he used to be.